kids are actually telling their parents you should talk to this realtor.
Yeah. So that was really cool. And that's happened a couple times recently. And I'm like, okay, all right. I like that. But I have been getting people off of Facebook, and it's more the people that may have already known me, or we knew each other in crossing. And it's not like we're friends or like we'd go get dinner with each other, but they are seeing the success and they're seeing my videos, and they're like, she's a great Facebook presence. And then they will refer me to somebody, or they will use me. But Facebook isn't getting me as much of a reach. It's more the people that know me, but are only using me because of the success that I'm showing on Facebook. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Instagram is more like someone from Adams reaching out, and they're like, hey, saw you on Instagram. Let's buy a house.
Hi there, and welcome to Real Life in Real Estate. I'm Mark Peebles, here to help you live your best life and achieve ultimate success. We are live in the studio today with a very special guest. I love having guests actually come into the studio, and today is a very special day. I would love to say that I've had a front row seat to watch her succeed, but I would say a lot of people have had that front row seat because she has become a powerhouse on social media. She's amazing at it, constantly pushing out great content. And I find myself like watching everything she puts out, but it has actually translated into success early on in her real estate career. We're going to learn all about that today, but Morgan Means,
yay!
I'm so glad to have you on the show today.
I'm happy to be here. I'm excited. Thank you.
This is going to be great. What year did you get in the business?
2022.
2022. Yeah. Now, you became Rookie of the Year in 2023, your first full year in your market.
Correct.
And then, like last year, listen, the company that Morgan's with, I started my career with the company. They are one of the big dogs in our market. Yeah. And you were number 4 in the company last year. I was
number 4 in the company, which was, I couldn't even wrap my head around it when I was at the awards. I'm like, are you sure me? Me?
Yeah.
Are you sure? So that was very humbling experience to be around those people that I've looked up to, because I was actually in the administrative position before I became a realtor. Okay. And I was at the Springboro office in the administrative position. So the people, I was like, man, they're killing it. They're killing it. I'm like sitting with them. I'm like, okay, me?
Yeah,
really?
Right.
So yeah, that was cool.
That's amazing. Yeah. You've had such a great amount of success. You've done so much in your short time in the business, and you came out of nowhere. Like, I had never heard of, it was Morgan Turner when you started, right? So I had never heard of you, and then all of a sudden one day I start seeing you everywhere.
That was the point. Yeah. That's the point.
And then when I finally did meet you face to face, I think it was like in August of your second full year in the business, and you'd already done 10 million in sales. Yeah. I was like, what? Like, I mean, I've been in the business almost 20 years, and it took me years to get to that point.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to you today about how have you been so successful so early on in your career, and then we're going to talk about so many other things. But what did you do to have that success so fast?
Hyper local content. Okay. That's all it is. As a new realtor, transparently, you don't know much about real estate. You know, you got to really get your hands in it. You got to start walking it. You got to start living it, going through terminations, going through under contracts and emotional buyers. You don't know all of that until you're actually in it. So when I first started and still learning real estate, I just focused not on educating clients because I didn't know it yet, you know what I mean, in order to put that type of content out. But I was able to just hyper local everything because I know this area. I've lived in this area my entire life. So I'm telling you the best coffee shops, and that was my number 1 video to blow up, was best coffee shops. And then I was doing a lot of just home tour videos, but the hyper local is really what just sent it. I mean, the home tour videos were starting to mix in because I'm like, hey, also I'm a realtor. I don't want you to forget that part. Right. But also here's the best coffee shops and the best boutiques.
Well, I think now when I do see your like best coffee shop or 12 things to do around the holiday season. I mean, you always do say what your opening line. I'm Morgan Means, your
Greater Dayton local expert and realtor.
Right.
Mouthful.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I was actually just watching another coach recently, and he said everything you do online now, it basically transcribes. And so all of these search engines and everything are picking up that you are the local expert on greater Dayton real estate.
Yeah.
And so I think that's awesome. So tell me how did it go when you started doing it? How did it go? When did you start seeing business from it?
Yeah, so I would say my first year, I was really trying to lean into a little bit more of TikTok than I was Instagram, but I felt more comfortable on Instagram.
Okay.
Because that's really, TikTok was a little bit more newer, and Instagram's where I've been on Instagram since I was 12. Okay.
Yep.
So I've been living the Instagram life. So I got a lead from TikTok from, forget where they were living, but it was a different state. Hey, we found you on TikTok. We're moving to Dayton. We just got a job. And I was like, ain't no way. There's no way. I'm like, there's no way. You saw my video.
Those things where you're like, oh, well, that's great. Thank you so much. Yeah, freaking out in the background.
Literally trying to just have a, I'm a professional real estate conversation. I got off the phone and called 10 people. Like, guess what just happened?
So awesome.
So that was one of my very first experiences. It was probably the second half of so I started in June. I probably saw that success in closer to August of the following year.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know.
So a full year later.
A little bit,
but you were so consistent that first year.
Yeah. So, and I just knew that Instagram, I follow boutiques. And I used to be in the boutique business and I did not do well, but I followed boutiques and I followed, hairdressers and nail people, and I see all their success here. And I'm like, you can do that with real estate.
Yeah.
So let me just keep leaning into it. And that's what I ended up doing. And that's where it's got me.
So when you came into the business, month one, did you instantly start putting the content out?
Let me think. Yeah. So I instantly started putting content out that I was seeing other realtors do. The other realtors doing it. I'm like, so this is what I have to do now, right? Yep. I'm doing the sold posts. I'm doing the just pending. Those don't work. Yeah. They don't work. That's not what people want to see. They want to see who you are as a realtor. Yep. So, and I talked to a few people and they're like, well, I tried social media. It doesn't ever really work. You should go cold call. You should go sit at open houses. And I was like, no, I'm going to do what I think, because I'm seeing these girls that I'm following on Instagram that I love following. They're doing day in the lives. They're doing, and it wasn't other realtors that I was watching. It was just other people. And I'm like, let's see how I can just talk about, not like myself, but what I'm doing on the day to day, and let me do it. And then I just started. So in the beginning, it wasn't that. In the beginning, I was posting what every other realtor was posting, and I was not getting traction from that. So I don't know when that turned and I started really leaning into my own way of doing social media, but that's kind of where that went.
So what do you prefer? Do you think it's in video, or do you think you should do photo posts, or do you mix both, or what's your focus?
So originally it was video, because I do follow some accounts that say, they give the updates of what Instagram's wanting to push out. So they were pushing out video only, and they wouldn't even touch a photo. Nobody could get anything on a photo. At that time, I was really pushing video, but I would still post photos, because when you go to stalk somebody, you want to see what they look like. You want to see a picture of their family, all of that. So I wanted that just for stalking purposes, because I want someone to stalk me, right?
Yeah, right.
Whoa. Yeah.
No.
Wait,
No.
Hang on,
Not
everybody.
Like you're thinking. Okay.
I don't want you to stalk me in a weird way. I want people to look me up. So I was doing that at first, but then I just found out Instagram's kind of been recently pushing carousel photos out on Instagram. So I've kind of leaned out of the videos, and because I was doing here are top 5 places to go this weekend in Dayton, Ohio. I was doing those weekly. Now I've gotten into carousels, and those are popping off right now. They are going crazy right now as of today.
Define popping off for me. What does that look like?
I have 68 shares today.
Wow.
Only on it's one post I posted yesterday. 68 people have shared it to their story today.
Wow.
So I don't know what that was yesterday.
What was the post?
So it was I'm not selling you a house. I'm selling you the hallway that your kids are going to go running down to see if Santa's came.
Of course. Yeah. You're that's brilliant, actually, because, here's the thing. If we make it about us, if I make it all about Mark, or you make it all about Morgan, people get really tired of that.
Yeah, they do.
But man, you help them, you become a part of their story.
Yeah.
And man, you just said that, and all of a sudden I see my kids back when they're kids. I'm like, That's so powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then I just had
Natalie's in the room. Just blah. Yeah, right.
Yeah, literally.
She's making notes back
She's like,
there.
actually, matter of fact.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so it's just selling that emotion side of it. There was another carousel that really hit home for a lot of people that I had a bunch of shares like that. And it was, because it was at the time where something was trending where it was like this and, so it's a picture of something like an action, this and, you know, going on a first date or something like that. So I did this and we should buy a house. And it was just a couple sitting there drinking wine on a front porch. This and I can't wait for her to be here. And then it's a picture of a baby crib and they're setting up so you don't even talk about the house.
Telling a story.
Yes.
And you're inviting other people
because that's why people are buying houses. They're not buying a house, you know, to talk about the fancy part of it. They're buying a house for their kids. They're buying a house because they're downsizing, or you got to think past it. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, yeah.
So,
again, it's all about story. You know, one of my favorite people is Donald Miller, building a story brand. You ever heard of Donald Miller? Okay. You're already doing it though.
Okay.
You're doing what Donald Miller talks about, where he says that, you know, you're just the guide to help them get to where they want to go, right? To help them achieve their dreams, to reach out. And you're just the guide that is helping the hero get there, right? And that, even just in the couple of examples you just gave, that's what you're doing really beautifully.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
So see, look, we can help each other today.
Yeah.
Okay, man, so many questions I want to ask you. How many days a week and how much posting are you doing?
Yeah. So when I first started, I was posting at least 3 times a week, which is heavy. It's a lot. I was filming every day. So when I quit my 9-to-5 job, I said, I'm hitting this so hard. I'm going to do a day in the life. I'm going to do 5 things to do this weekend. I'm going to do a carousel post. I'm going to post all my stories every day. And that really helped me because I was posting so consistently. Now I'm not posting as consistently. I try to get up at least 1 to 2 posts a week.
Okay.
And
but they're quality posts.
Yes, exactly. And since those carousels are lasting me, it has a longer shelf life, so I don't have to feel like in the beginning, I was only getting about 2,000 views. Now I'm getting close to 24,000 plus on each post. So it's lasting me longer, so I don't have to keep posting every single, you know what I mean? Yeah. But it's not only real estate that I post. I'm not only doing, you know, stuff like that. Like I'm working on a post right now about, you know, I went hunting and I went on I did a marathon with my husband for the very first time.
Did you do a full marathon?
No, it's not a marathon. He told me to stop saying that because it's not a marathon. It was a 5K and I walked most of it.
And so it felt like a marathon.
It felt like a marathon. It felt like I ran the whole thing. I was wheezing. Okay. But yeah, he's told me to stop saying that. She's cracking up.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
So yeah, but it was just a 5K. But yeah, I'm going to post a little bit about that because people want to know you're a real person. Yeah. So, you know, just a little bit of insight into my life and what I'm doing outside of real estate. So
okay, so you're posting really down to a couple times, maybe 3 times, whatever, a week. So you're telling me I can still generate business as long as I'm consistent, posting 2 or 3 times a week. Or if I'm just starting out, let's start from the beginning. I'm the agent who's just posting congratulations to my buyers who are under contract on this house, and I'm saying happy closing day to my buyers, right? Boring. Every agent's doing it. Okay, so I want to go from that to the kind of success that you're having. How would you tell me to do it?
I would say, tell me the story about your clients are under contract. How long did it take? Did you get them a roof repair, or did you get them 5K off the purchase price? Now, there's some things that I don't say too early because we're under contract, right? Depending on how quickly we are to closing. But I will say, here are 5 people I got under contract this week. 1 are downsizing. 2 just had a life change. 3, they just purchased because they, you know, they're having a kid next week, or they're having a kid next month, or whatever. So I tell the story behind each person because then people are looking at that and relating, like, oh, that's me, or that's my mom. Instead of you just saying you're pending, it's all on you. There's nothing to reflect back to someone looking at your post. So I would recommend that if that's how you're posting right now. You're not, right?
No, I'm not. In fact, I'm very much like you. I tell people, if you want to stand out from the crowd, you have to be different. If you want to be different, you have to be different. How's that, saying it like that? And that's what I love about what you're doing, is it is not what every other agent's doing. So you keep up on the trends. You said you have a few places that you follow to help you know that, I need to go to carousels. Right now, are you doing any videos?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm still doing videos. So right now I'm doing like a 12-day Christmas giveaway. So I'm doing some videos on my stories. But if I can pick up like a home tour video, I'll do that. And then I'm trying to think of any other videos.
Do I need to be using my stories?
Oh,
I know Natalie's giving me the side eye right now because
yeah.
she's always telling me, Mark, you got to do stories. No, but you're very consistent with stories. Do we need to be doing them?
Yeah. So not only is it good for your Instagram algorithm, they want you posting at least daily. Which I don't always. Like I said, it's like once you got comfortable and then I start like, oh, I don't got to do that. I've got some clients. Well, then next month I don't. So,
right.
But yeah, stories are really important. And it's just to keep people up to date with you. Because if you're only posting 2 to 3 times a week, but you're not posting stories, and stories are way more intimate. It's way more into your life than it is like a post usually.
Yeah.
So yeah, stories are important, which I can't speak on Facebook stories. I don't have my Instagram and Facebook linked, which I think they just got rid of that. But I only post on Instagram stories. So.
Okay. Yeah. Now, since you brought up Facebook, I mean, I know you give me a weird look when I talk about Facebook, but honestly, I barely know how to open my Instagram.
That's
I feel like sometimes, and I love. No, I do use Instagram. In fact, I usually post a lot of my content on Instagram, but then I also post on Facebook. Which, yes, I think you're right. They're changing how that all works in terms of response. Where do you think you get your best response from? Are you getting any response from Facebook, or is that just kind of like, there's people there? I mean, how do you feel about those platforms?
Just recently, I've been starting to get a lot more from Facebook. And from Instagram, I've gotten a few leads from their kids telling their parents, hey, this realtor.
Yes, I love that.
I'm like, you know how cool that is? And they're trusting their kid.
So that's such a good point. Morgan, like right now, one of the things that it just makes me sick is that the average first-time home buyer in the United States is 40 years old, or the typical first-time home buyer, right? And that makes me really sad. I mean, I bought my first house when I was 22 years old, and you bought you own a home, right?
20. I forget how old I was.
You've owned multiple homes, I think. Haven't you?
Just 2.
Yeah, but the thing is like we bought young. Now we are in Dayton, Ohio, Cincinnati. This is a much more affordable market than if you go to Nashville, Tennessee, or you go to a lot of markets in Florida, or we go to the West Coast. I mean, we're blessed to live in a very affordable market where we can afford homes younger. However, with that statistic, just take that statistic alone, that the typical first-time home buyer is 40 now,
right?
And look at our market and the opportunity. I'd say Facebook is a decent opportunity because that's where the older population hangs out.
Right. Yeah.
And I love what you said because you just opened my eyes to something that I don't know was even a thought in my mind because I've been more focused on my Facebook account.
Yeah.
And that is kids are actually telling their parents you should talk to this realtor.
Yeah. So that was really cool. And that's happened a couple times recently. And I'm like, okay, all right. I like that. But I have been getting people off of Facebook, and it's more the people that may have already known me, or we knew each other in crossing. And it's not like we're friends or like we'd go get dinner with each other, but they are seeing the success and they're seeing my videos and they're like, she's a great Facebook presence. And then they will refer me to somebody or they will use me. But Facebook isn't getting me as much of a reach. It's more the people that know me, but are only using me because of the success that I'm showing on Facebook. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Instagram is more like someone from Adams reaching out and they're like, hey, saw you on Instagram. Let's buy a house.
So are you solely focused on social media, or are you doing some other things outside of social media?
I know I need to be doing some other things outside of social media because I think about, if TikTok ever does shut down, I don't get solely my business from TikTok, but I have gotten leads from TikTok, and what percentage is that will shut down my business because I'm so invested in social media as a whole. I do a lot of pop buys as reaching back out to clients.
That's great.
But as far as like doing new client leads, I have nothing coming in, and I need to. I know I need to. So any suggestions on that, I'll take them. Okay. Thanks.
Would this be a good pause for Ultimate Success Framework, which we're launching an online course, so exactly how to do this, how to manage your time, how to build relationships.
Okay.
But that said, we're not here to talk about me, okay, Morgan?
Sorry.
Because there's so much more I want to know about you. Okay. No, it's just because I'm just so in awe of how well you've done at such a young age. So, in fact, you're right now 27 years old, right?
Yes.
So you're the same age that I was when I got into the business.
Oh, that's awesome.
And to see how successful you are now is just, it's so awesome. So this year, how many transactions will you do in 2025?
I think I'm around 56 or so.
56. What percentage or how many of those came from your social media presence?
I would say probably 60 to 70%. Clients, yeah.
Okay.
But those past clients came from social media. So it's like, where am I supposed to put them in? But yeah. And then referrals too. But that, I have a business coach that's been kind of helping me through like trying to track exactly where the lead comes from. And it's so hard when it's like a girl sent me your post on Instagram and her sister also, and then it goes down the line, but it was through Instagram, but it was also her friend, and then they also go to church with me, and then I'm like, so where is it actually coming from?
So it's technically, I mean, that is pretty good to think about, not just the kids referring, but other people are referring you just by saying, I follow this person on Instagram or wherever.
You know those Facebook groups, mom groups, the city groups. Oh my gosh. When you get 3 or 4 people commenting your name, I'm having a good day. I'm feeling on fire. I'm like, I didn't even comment my name and there's 4 people in there that commented mine. They may not reach out. Yeah, but they are advocating. Yeah.
So, how often are you on social media? Are you on it all day long?
Mark, so, when was it? April. I am living on social media. Okay. Like I am on social media all day. That is where everything is social media to me, or social media is everything to me. Well, in April we had a revival night and I heard God say like, hey, you got to cut it off. You got to cut it off. I'm like making an idol out of it, and I'm new to this whole thing too. So I'm like, that's my business. So you don't know, questioning him.
Yeah.
And then I ended up laying it down, and I had this huge teacher event I was doing for in May. I did teacher appreciation. I partnered with Coffee Hub in Beaver Creek.
Love it.
We went to every single elementary school and preschool, and I passed out coffees it was like a cute little basket. We had flowers in it. I even had a photographer there. I had my husband come video it. We're doing the whole thing. I've got money in this thing, okay? We're doing every school. And God's like, not that either. You're not posting about that either. Wow. And that crushed me. I'm like, but you know what it made me learn was how much I was doing for the return on, social media is going to see me doing this, and these people are going to see me doing this. Was I doing it for the teachers? No. Yeah. But on the flip side of it, that's a little bit a part of this business, is you're doing things to kind of get a little bit more out of it from clients. Because it's like, you do the food drives and whatnot because it looks good for the brand, but also your heart wants to do it too, know? And when he told me to lay that down, I had to lay social media down cold, like nothing, for 3 months.
Wow.
Took a hit in my business a little bit, but I learned so much from that. And honestly, it's a huge testimony just to kind of tell people about that. You can't just rely on social media. You know what I mean? You got to lean into him a little bit. But yes, I'm on it way too much. So to answer your question.
No, but I love that story. Yeah. And I've been through times in my life where the business, because real estate tends to own us, right? You don't really go on a real vacation.
Nope.
You are never fully free from it. I just had this conversation with Verl Workman. He was on the show recently. He's a big national coach, runs an amazing organization. And he said that, he said, Mark, I've never lost a client telling someone, I'm sorry, I can't. I got a date with my wife tonight. And for 39 years that he's been married to her, he's been dating her.
Yeah.
And that's why he has such a great marriage, and he's got wonderful relationships with his kids. And I think, what God does for us is he recenters us on him.
Yeah.
And on what he's blessed us with.
Yeah.
And business, yeah, that's a blessing, but that is not the blessing.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And you're a newlywed.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So talk to me about that, because here we go through. We talked, the business can own you. And on top of that, you're a newlywed. How are you keeping that relationship healthy?
Yeah, so that's me cutting it off at 8 p.m. I try to keep my hours from 8 to 8, and he'll look at me like
at the same great rate. I'm sorry.
At the same rate, 8 to 8. Yeah. Who is that?
That's I think it's McAfee.
Okay. Heating and air.
Here in our greater Dayton market.
So yeah. Morgan means McAfee Heating and Air. And I'm just 8 to 8. I try to keep it between. Yes, yeah. I try to keep it from 8 to 8 because there's nothing that I can do after 8 p.m. that's going to change a deal. You know what I mean? There's nothing that's going to, unless it's a client freaking out or, there's some circumstances that have to be adjusted there. But I really think that that's helped our relationship because a lot of times he's like, hey, can you get off your phone for 5 seconds? And I've got to just, I'll put it on Do Not Disturb. I love using that. That is a thing I use all the time. And I will just be at dinner with him. So, I'll do that. It's hard too, because he does all of my videos for me. We're almost business partners in a way. Yeah. So, but recently he's now has my Instagram on his phone, and I think he likes seeing what it's giving he's like, did you see you gained this many followers?
He gets that dopamine hit.
Instead of him just filming a video and then it just being like, oh, okay, cool, it's posted. He's getting the dopamine. And he's like, hey, do you want to do this video? I'm like, thank you, please.
Yes, right. So, can we just put videos away for a minute?
Yeah.
Can you put your camera down? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so I love that you say that. So I love the 8 to 8. I think that's great. I was not trying to be a poet, and I didn't know, or did know it, or whatever. Okay, so I had a coach during a time in my life. I was on the edge of a nervous breakdown.
Okay.
The business owned me.
Okay.
I was totally messing up my family relationships.
Okay.
I wasn't present for my wife, and I had a coach. She said, Mark, you're going to run yourself into the ground. Mm-hmm. And she said, and you're not keeping the most important things. You never need to feel guilty for having an appointment to take your wife on a date or be at the baseball game or, be at the soccer game or be there coaching your daughters. Whatever it is, you never need to feel guilty. You have an appointment, and that's all you need to tell people. I have an appointment. Then the other great thing she gave me was she said after 7 p.m., there's not much that's going to happen after 7 p.m. unless you got to write an offer, which we have to do that, right?
Yeah.
But she said, tell your clients you have a communication plan in place. In fact, for a long time, I had clients sign off on my communication plan. So they saw I was available until 7. And after 7 p.m., if you need to reach me, you can text me. I'll respond the next day. If it's an emergency, text emergency, and I'll call you right away.
Okay.
And do you know, since I put that in place, and since I started communicating that to clients, never have I had a client come back to me
and say it was an emergency.
It was an emergency. Never. Because they realize if they have to type emergency, they're like, it's not really an emergency. Yeah, right. So I love that. And this is not counseling session me to you, but I can say from someone who's been in the business, I love that you're doing that now.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do it when I was young.
Well, you know what was the learning point for me was my engagement was ruined over a deal. So, and I won't go into all the details, but basically I didn't know it was my engagement, of course. Right. It was family photos. And I was getting proposed to, but a deal was falling through. My client's freaking out because, it was they had to sell their house in order to buy a house, and it was the whole thing. He's freaking out. I want to talk to the manager. I want to see if there's anything else we can do. And I'm like, sick to my stomach for my clients as well. We go out, I'm like, let's take these freaking family photos. And then Nico walks out into the middle of a circle.
Man.
And I'm like, no freaking way. And he doesn't want to change the date of it. He got my entire family there, and that's what I wanted, Yeah. And that was the turning point for me, because I'm like, absolutely not. I will not look at my phone on my wedding day. I will not look at my phone before my wedding day. And it was like, it switched. Yeah. So luckily it was just that little thing, because when I have a kid, the phone's going out the door.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
So there's just things that you've got to, So now when I'm at a family event or something, I'm like, I'm not dealing with that deal because I don't know if it's going to be something that's going to emotionally affect me, because real estate does that.
It does, yes.
It emotionally affects you.
I think that's one thing that our clients don't realize.
Yes.
It's very emotional for a client, okay? So, and I've been my own client before. It's emotional. It's stressful, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think the one thing that people don't understand about our business is, one, that we're always on, and two, that it is emotionally taxing on us.
We're counselors. Come on. It is
are.
something else with the counseling with that. But yeah, so that was the turning point for me. So it did have to hit, at a certain point. And I'm glad it did that early in my business.
So if you're okay to be a little vulnerable and share, like, what happened after that when he asked you?
Yeah, so I was already in a bad mood, and I was kind of already crying at this point, because I was just, and that's another thing too, is like, I've learned to just, there's only so much I can do.
Right.
And not get my heart so into it, and I'm an emotional person.
Yeah,
so,
right.
But
we're all emotional beings.
yes,
so.
exactly. So I walk out in the circle, he proposes to me. I was crying a little bit because I was like, you've got to be kidding me, real estate. And then I was crying too, because I was so excited. And, I think at that moment, it all kind of went to the back of my head. We enjoyed the moment. It was good. We're excited. Everyone. And then it went fine as a proposal after that. And then when we're walking back to the house, I looked at him. I'm like, I'm so sorry. And he's like, hey, we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
Like, hey. But, we still had our moment. And it was good, but then the entire dinner after that, I'm on the phone with my manager, like, hey, you need to talk to them. And by the way, I just got proposed to. And she's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
So it was a very emotional roller coaster. I just couldn't enjoy it. I had a defect notice that night that I had to turn in when I just got done proposed to. And I'm at home and I'm typing up a defect notice. Just
because those deadlines are real.
Those deadlines are real.
They are.
But I have a transaction coordinator now that I could have passed that off to.
Good.
And I think she would have taken it knowing I'm proposed to,
right.
But yeah, it went okay. It didn't go great, if that, you know what I mean?
No, but here's the thing. I just appreciate being vulnerable.
Yeah.
This show is called Real Life in Real Estate. And part of the heart behind this show is I want to show people that, sometimes they suck before one of the greatest moments in your life, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I appreciate you sharing that very much.
Yeah.
So there's some questions I love to ask every guest that comes on the show.
Okay.
And it just helps us get to know you a little bit more and get to know the way that you think. So first question is, who would you say has had the greatest impact on your life and career? That someone that you would say that if it weren't for this person, I wouldn't be here today.
Holy moly.
That is a
big question.
It is a big question.
Well, immediately like 3 to 4 people pop in my head. So I don't know how to narrow it down. Teresa Rosnick, I think you know her. She's the manager of the Springboro office. She has pushed me, and she was my manager when I was an admin. And, got me through some really hard times just in my life then. But then when I came to her bawling, like, hey, I'm quitting my job and I'm going to be a realtor, she's like, do it.
Right.
Do it. And every idea I brought to her about social media where I'm like, no one else is doing this. Like, do you think this is okay? Because I didn't have much confidence. I'm a new realtor, And she's like, do it. Be yourself. People love you. People love you. I'd say she really impacted me. Melissa Neese is another realtor. She has always been very big on, like, taking care of your client, not a assembly line real estate, like you are taking care of your client. She's cleaning out attics of bird poop, and she's doing all the extra things like, oh, I have an elderly client, so I'm going to go over there and scrub their floors because they can't do it type of thing, Yep. She's impacted me heavily in that. And then my dad, he's the one that kind of got me into real estate. He's the one that was like, hey, I think you'd be good at this. And I'm like, no. Took the test 6 times and I was like, yeah, I'm not good at it. And then I passed on the 6th time and I was like, okay, I'm going to do it.
Yep.
And then of course my husband, because he's just, he's just as much of a realtor dealing with all of everything that goes with it as I am. I mean, he gets the awards as much as I get the awards because he's going through me like, hey, did you hear my deal fell through? Or hey, did you hear this? And he's gone through it, and he's my videographer. So those are 4 people. Sorry, you asked me for 1.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I love it. It's looking at the whole scope of impact on your life,
it's everything. Yeah.
Okay, so if you could go back to your first year, which was only a few years ago, and give yourself advice, what would you say to yourself?
See, I'm very torn because I tell realtors, the newer agents all the time, take every call. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You take the call, you text back, you extra text them back because people realize that. And when you're new, not everyone's doing that extra thing. So do it. But then on the flip side, your engagement might get ruined. So, but I always say that to the newer agents. But if I could give myself advice, it was really the emotional thing. My heart was so deep into someone losing their earnest money. Oh, that's their kid's baby formula for the next month. And that was my fault. You know what I mean? Like I put my heart into every transaction and you can't do that. You just can't. And I've really learned to kind of like, back out of it as much as you can. Although like you've got to have your heart in it. That's why I'm good at this business. You know what I mean?
Well, all we can do is give people information so that they can make good choices.
Yes. Yeah.
And so that's what we do. We give them information and we leave it on them to make the choice. And if the choice goes bad, we advise them on what's next, right? But I'm with you because I tend to be that one that, I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Yeah.
But I feel awful for clients sometimes because things just happen in this business. I've always said like, I'm really like a firefighter. I just put out fires all day long.
Yeah.
And that's really what we do. And it's very emotional because usually it's burning something in one of our clients' lives.
That's a good way to look at it. And maybe if I looked at it like that a little bit more, like you're a firefighter because you look at the firefighter for like as a trusting, like, how are you going to put this fire out? You know what I mean? But the firefighter can't always save. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to look at it like that. I think that's a good tip.
Yeah, we're gonna flush that one out. So, okay.
You don't like that?
No, I like it.
Okay.
I like it. We're gonna fully flush the thoughts out. We're gonna really use it. All right. So on this show, we talk about ultimate success, and I believe no one at Morgan's funeral is going to be talking about how much money you made.
I know.
Estate.
Yeah.
So, what does ultimate success look like for you?
Man, that's a good one. I really want kids, so that's a big success for me. But are you talking within the real estate realm?
No, I'm talking about life.
Okay.
What's going to be said about Morgan at her funeral?
Well, I hope I have pointed people to Jesus. I'm going to be honest with you. I hope that that's something. I hope I've brought energy and a positive light into life because a lot of times it can feel real down. So I hope that those are some things that are said at my funeral.
That's good. Well, I mean, I can already tell you, just you being in the studio, you've like lit up the room here.
Good.
I mean, we have a lot of lights in the room, but you've lit up the room.
I hit my head on the way in.
Yeah, you adjusted that light on your way in. All right, so give me a life lesson that you've learned the hard way. This is the life lesson.
Yeah.
You've learned it the hard way that you wish someone would have told you sooner.
Well, they did tell me sooner, keep my mouth shut. Everything doesn't have to have a response. And I think that that's really gotten to me. And I know that that's maybe...
Did you listen?
No. What do you mean?
When they told you that, did you listen?
Just keep your mouth shut? No.
Okay, yeah. So you had to learn it the hard way.
I would just say what I think. And, sometimes people oh, she tells me like it is, but no, it can be a little destructive, you know? So, I think that's one that just pops in my head immediately. I can't tell you that that's like the best lesson I've ever learned, but that's one I'm learning more and more every day.
I think it's good because sometimes we just have to.
Yeah,
we need to.
Some people don't need a response, and that's more of a response than giving one, right?
Yep.
So that's
good.
a big life lesson I've learned.
That's good. All right. So, Morgan, do you have a daily routine that you go through?
Yes. I usually start with waking up. Waking up. Very important. Getting in my Bible immediately. I do not look at my phone. It is on Do Not Disturb. It automatically goes into Do Not Disturb mode at, I think it's like 5 a.m.
Okay.
But I don't get up until like 7. I get in my Bible and then I don't even look at an email, a text, nothing until I'm done. And then I will turn my Do Not Disturb on. I'll look at Instagram a little bit. And then I will start a to-do list. I love a good to-do list written on paper, and I will cross it off. Do the emails, look at, DABR, make sure that I can just see what's going on in the market, how much is pending, how much is not. And yeah, I think that's pretty much the routine every morning. After that, it's like, who's calling me, or what do I need to do? Or, okay, do I have time to film a video, or do I have time to create a post, or
So now that I've asked all these personal questions, that did bring up a couple of things that just gets me going in my head. When it does come to, scheduling your time to shoot your social media videos or work on your carousels, like, where are you finding the time for all of that?
Yeah, so if I can write it into my schedule, that's usually how I do it. I try to make that an actual, just like we have a showing or just like we have a listing appointment, I write it into my schedule, like, you are filming this video from this time to this time.
Yep.
And oh my gosh, my ADD or ADHD mind, I've got a time block or set a timer. Like, you have an hour to work on this, because if not, I will spend the entire day hyperfixating, or I will be like, boo, 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 and not focusing on one thing. So when I give myself you get 30 minutes, I'm like this.
Yo, yes, right.
I'm only
that you're running against I work on alarms too. Yeah. And I'll set an alarm and say, when this alarm goes off, I'm not taking a break until this alarm goes off. And then it does make me hyper focus. I love that. I'm glad I'm not the only one that does that. Because my mind, I think we have very similar minds in that they're just always going.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Okay. How much are you using AI?
I use it to help me, for example, the feet running down the hallway for Santa. I had them help me kind of come up with some ideas. It's not personal enough. I don't know how to explain it. It's just they're giving me ideas that feel very surface level. And I'm like, I need it deeper. But they are giving me enough ideas with that to where I'm using? ChatGPT.
Okay, yep.
They give me enough ideas to where I'm like, okay, that helps me spark something. They're obviously writing my listing descriptions. Sometimes I will have them create a graphic for me for certain things if I need it. But I know there's a whole thing I've not touched, and I should. So,
well, I was just curious more than anything, because with someone like you, you're very creative, and you're great at pumping out content. I was just curious how much you are using it. So
yeah, it kind of helps more, if anything, just spark an idea. Yep. So. But it is good. The top 5 things and the best coffee shops and whatnot, they do not give it to you. They do not know it. You got to be a person in the area.
Yeah, you have to be a part of your community.
Yeah. So, that's something that AI can't compete with me or any other realtor.
That's right. Boom. I like that. Big takeaway right there. Big takeaway. Okay. I've gotten so much out of our conversation here today, and I really appreciate it. Yeah. So I want to know, there's agents out there right now, they're struggling. There's new agents that are getting into the business. There's where's the business? What's your advice to that struggling agent right now that just needs to hear from someone that's been there?
Yeah. I would say, the only thing I know is social media, honestly. It is. That's the only thing I know. So if you can just start hyper locally focusing on what you do. I was promoting boutiques for the longest time, or coffee shops. I love coffee shops. I love shopping. I'm going to start talking about the stuff I know, right? If you can get that content to start sharing, and you can start watching other people's content that's catching your eye, or that you're binge watching, or you're going to their page and you're stalking them, do that content. Make it match that type of, make it look like that is what I'm trying to say. Yep. Make sure it's a good graphic. Make sure it's good quality on your phone if you're filming on your phone. And another thing I've sparked off, but a lot of people ask me what camera I use. You can start on your phone. We started on my phone, but I just know that we're now at the point where it's we've got to get better. You got to keep elevating. You can't just keep doing phone content if we're doing better than that now, right. But yeah, you have all the tools in your hand if you have an iPhone. So
yep.
You've got it.
And specifically, she said iPhone. This is not sponsored by Apple,
no.
But
you can sponsor him.
But if you're using anything other than an iPhone, right. You can sponsor both of us, right?
You can sponsor him if you'd like.
No, well, Morgan, again, you just radiate joy, and
thank you.
Have really enjoyed our conversation today. And for all of those of you out there, I believe that you can do what Morgan has done. She's been wildly successful just a few years into this business. There's no such thing as coming into this business and struggling. If you go out, you put in the work, Morgan's proof that the business comes, the opportunities to help people come, And I think if you do it for the right reasons, again, you're just going to keep seeing that blessing in your life. So I want to remind you before we go today about Ultimate Success Framework. By the time this episode comes out, it is probably launched. But if you go to itsmarkpeebles.com, there's a link there. You can learn all about the Ultimate Success Framework that is going to help you go beyond social media. Right now, we learned from the social media content master today. What I want to do is build on that and help you build a long-term sustainable business where people say, oh my gosh, I see you everywhere. And the Ultimate Success Framework is going to help you do that. It's not only, though, going to help you build a better business, it's overall going to help you build a better life. And that's it's my passion. It's my heart. It's what I love to do. So Ultimate Success Framework at itsmarkpeebles.com, and also find us on YouTube at It's Mark Peebles. That's pretty simple, right? Or wherever you get your podcast, you can listen to this as well. And we would appreciate you like us, subscribe to us, follow us, do all that stuff on there. And by the way, Morgan, where can we follow you?
On Instagram, it's at Turgan, and there's 4 N's. On TikTok is the same. There's multiple other ones. Don't follow those.
Spell that for us.
TurGanNNN. And then on Facebook is just Morgan Means.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Morgan.
Thank you.
This is awesome. Thank
good.
you for being with us today. I hope you're encouraged. Keep doing the good stuff and living your best life and achieve ultimate success. We'll talk to you soon.